Now, the real question is, will Shakira be back for this one? Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with all of that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Zootopia 2. This is a donation reward for Venom and is also the next movie in our monthly movie week. So, this is a movie that I've been waiting to get to because it was requested, and is a movie that I have, I guess you could say, an interesting history with. So, when the first movie came out, I thought it looked stupid. I thought from, like, the trailers that I saw that it just looked like it was going to be dumb and not be worthwhile at all. One day I was hanging out with friends and everything, and they decided, why don't we go see Zootopia? And everything. And it was like a really spur of the moment thing. They invited me and even said they'd help cover my ticket because at the time I definitely didn't have any money coming in. But we went and saw it, and yeah, I was proven wrong. I ended up loving it, like, quite a lot. And I have seen it many, many times since. It's a really good movie with a really good message, and honestly, may possibly be one of those pieces of media that kind of really confirmed me as a furry, if I'm being honest. Because, like, I grew up with the likes of, like, Space Jam with Lola Bunny and stuff. So it's like, I've always had, like, there's always been a leaning towards that in the first place. But this movie, like, the first movie at least, was just like, these characters are, like, drawn and animated way too well. Especially, like, fucking Gazelle. It's like, I get it, she's based off of Shakira, so it makes sense that she's hot. But, Jesus, why is she this hot? And also, like, I don't know, like, if this is a popular thought, but, maybe it's just because I am very into Idris Elba, but Chief Bogo can kind of do it for me a little bit as well, if I'm being honest. Not as much, by any means. And I know there's people out there who are, like, super into both Judy and Nick, and it's like, I never got super into either of them. It's like, I can see it, but it's like, there's just other characters in this who are much more attractive. Um, like Mrs. Otterton, I would put above Judy, honestly. Um, Even to a degree, like there's just random background characters who I think were much more attractive, personally. Now, just moving on from that, the movie had some like really good messages about like following your dreams and not letting anybody get you down, not letting anybody like tell you you're wrong to believe in yourself, even if it's in something that, would normally be seen as beyond your level. And it was just also super well written and made. It was funny, it was charming, there was a lot of just great moments. The voice actors all did phenomenal. Jennifer Goodwin is like absolute perfection as Judy. And honestly, I think the only other place I know Jennifer Goodwin from is the series Once Upon a Time, where she plays Snow White. I think that's the only thing I know her from outside of this. Um, and it's like it just really wowed me, you know? And so I'm hoping that the sequel does the same. I know nothing about it. I've stayed away from all spoilers because Venom, you donated for this, and so I knew to stay away from anything possible. I haven't seen a single trailer. I haven't seen anything in regards to this film. I know nothing about what the plot's about. The only characters I can assume are returning are the likes of like Judy, Nick, and maybe the likes of Chief Bogo. Clawhauser, I assume probably would. But it's like generally I don't actually know. I assume all the voice actors are back. I do know there's a couple voice actors in this that weren't in the first one. Um, Ki Kwan is in this. I do know that. And I do know he plays a snake. That's all I know. Ki Kwan, who became really, really big after Everything Everywhere All at Once, has been in the Loki series, has been in just a number of things. And he was an actor when he was young with Indiana Jones and all, but like he's become big now. Now that he's like really re-entered the spotlight. And then I also heard that Macaulay Culkin is in this. And Macaulay has also recently been in the second season of Fallout, which we've been reacting to. So he's getting his name back out there as well, because he hadn't done a lot for a while, and then he had like the issues that came up, but he was able to get past them. He was able to make his life better with help from others, especially his wife Brenda, and he's doing good. He's doing really good, and I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy that he and Brenda are doing great. They have, I think, a couple kids, and yeah, I'm excited to see like what his role in this is gonna be, because I loved seeing him in Fallout as well. So, but yeah, I don't know what to expect in terms of like where the plot goes. I know the first movie ended with like that kind of throwaway line about like Judy loving Nick and everything. Like Nick said to her, it's like, you love me. And she's like, do I know that? Yes, I do. And it's like, I guess that was supposed to confirm them as a couple. I don't know if this movie's going to go more into that, but the problem that was one of the few problems I had with the first movie, because it felt like if that was confirming them as a couple, it came out of nowhere. There was never any build up for them being a couple. They were at best like expressed to be best friends. There was never any couple energy to how they were written. So if they do continue with that in this movie, hopefully they at least make it seem believable this time. Um, Other than that, I don't know exactly what we're gonna get. So I think we should get into this. But before we do, I do want to really quickly bring up that we have a Patreon. For those who are new and or just haven't heard the news, yeah, we started a Patreon at the beginning of the year. Still getting things figured out. It's still pretty new. I've not really done this before, so. But each tier gives you different rewards. Starting at the $5 tier, you get early access to movie reactions. The $10 tier keeps the movie reactions but adds in series reactions early access as well. And so on and so forth. Each tier going up adds in a new type of reactions for early access, as well as other rewards such as getting to vote on exclusive polls in the future, getting to choose things for me to react to in the future, and stuff like that. There's a comprehensive breakdown on the Patreon page itself, which is linked to in the description below. It is completely optional, though. You obviously don't have to do it. I can't force you, and I'm not going to try. It is completely optional, but it does help out. This is kind of my full-time job. It is all I really do between this and the gaming channel. So it does help out if you're able to, lend some aid there. If you're not, completely fine. Like I said, it's optional and everything comes to the YouTube channel anyway. It's just, it comes early to Patreon. You get to view stuff early, and there might be other rewards in the future. Hard to say at this moment. But in the meantime, thank you all so much again for tuning in, and let's get this started and see what this movie has in store for us. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, some casting stuff before anything. I was looking at the cast here, and there's some surprising names on here that, I would not have even begun to guess. First off, Captain Hogbottom, who's one of the cops, is Michelle Gomez, who I know from Doctor Who. She was Missy in Doctor Who. The Zebros are pro wrestlers Roman Reigns and CM Punk. So that's fascinating. And then you have Bloats and Higgins, who are Stephanie Beatriz, as in Vaggie from Has Been Hotel, and various other things. Mirabelle from Encanto, but also Wilmer Valderrama as well. Jean Reno was in it, who I mostly know for the late 90s Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick. Macaulay Culkin was actually Linksley's brother. You know how there were the 3 Linksley kids? The brother, the older brother, Catrick Linksley, was Macaulay, and the sister, Kitty, was Brenda Song, who I knew Macaulay was in this. I didn't know Brenda was in it as well. That's really awesome. I'm going to have to go back and listen to them again. But Snootley, Anthony Snootley, the Anteater, was John Leguizamo, which is wild to me. Because I would think I would have recognized his voice, considering everything I've seen and heard him in.
but I didn't recognize him at all. Um, Josh Dallas was the frantic pig. I mentioned Josh Dallas during the movie. I was wondering if he was still voiced by um, the one who played the prince in Once Upon a Time alongside Jennifer Goodwin, who's Judy in this. And yeah, it is still him. The anti-venom pen voice, though, like stab me straight into the heart, is Ollie Cravallo, Moana. That's wild. That's so wild. You have Amanda Gorman as Deirdre Bambino. Um, Apparently Ed Sheeran actually had a voice role in this as Ed Sheeran, but like Sheeran, like shearing a sheep. So I assume maybe he was the sheep in the shearing shop that we saw. Um, Tommy Chong was apparently in this at some point too. He was in the first one. His character in this, according to the credits, is Yax. I don't remember seeing him or hearing him though, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. But like this cast is crazy. The EMT Otter and the Baroness were both Yvette Nicole Brown, who I know growing up from Drake and Josh, but you might also know her from Community. Um, we had Jared Bush, who I think is the writer, right? As Jorgen Ziegenkase and Pronk. Mario Lopez was apparently in it, as someone named Denny Howlett. Uh, bu- 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 you had Anna Canoni Rose as Squeal of Portline. I'm not sure who some of these characters were. Robert Irwin was Robert Furwin. That's fun. Josh Gad was in it. Michael J. Fox. Oh! Michael J. Fox was the one who said butthead. He was the one who I thought for a second was Macaulay Culkin. No, that was Michael J. Fox. He called him butthead because I even mentioned that was from Back to the Future. That was actually Michael J. That's fun. I love that. That's really cool that Michael J. Fox got to be okay. Yeah, because he said butthead, and that was yeah. That's okay. That's pretty awesome. Also, apparently, the Dick that was stuck in the tuba was voiced by Dwayne Johnson. Okay, I didn't even realize he had a speaking line. Must have been like very brief. But yeah, this was a stacked cast, and for a sequel to a movie that was like so exceptionally well received, and that also had like a little like set of mini shorts that I actually believe I reacted to on this channel. It makes sense that they would go all out for this sequel because like a lot of Disney and Pixar movies these days haven't been getting sequels as often, and so it's kind of bringing back something that we could almost consider a lost art with Disney. Like Frozen getting a sequel was already a big deal. It's already a huge surprise. And now like we have one we had a Moana get a sequel even though that like ended up not being super great according to most people. I haven't seen it so. But apparently it was supposed to be a series and they turned it into a movie and that's what people didn't like about it. But this one I think is just on the exact same level as the first. And I love the first. Like I said, in the pre-thoughts. If you didn't watch the pre-thoughts, like if you're watching this on Patreon, I said in the pre-thoughts that when the first movie first came out, I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it looked stupid. But then I saw it in theaters with some friends when they invited me because I was hanging out with them during that day anyway. And I ended up loving it. And I've seen it many, many more times since, and I have loved it even more on rewatches. And I think it's genuinely one of the better movies to come from Disney in the current era, you could say. But I think that this movie is on the same level. I truly believe that it like stood up to what the first did. The theming was very similar, though the specific message was a little different. With obviously the focus on like accepting and celebrating our differences in this one. The new characters were great. Gary is an absolute joy of a character. I absolutely adore him, and I am all here for the pro snake propaganda. As someone who loves snakes, as someone who absolutely adores snakes, they're like among my favorite animals. It's like I am all here for the pro snake propaganda in this movie. The Link Sleeves are pretty good villains, even if the twist villain with Pawbert was super easy to see coming. Um, I like that Bellwether got to return, and I like her almost oh, what is it called? Oh my god, I'm blanking out. Hannibal Lecter, her almost Hannibal Lecter moment while she was in the cell. Um, I got a kick out of the new mayor, Brian. He was fun. Uh, what was her name? The I still have the credits up. I guess I can just check there. Give me just a second here. I have to get to the right part of the credits. Nibbles Maple Stick was probably the weakest character for me in this. It felt like it felt completely unnecessary. Like she kind of came across as like here's the best way I can put it. Nibbles Maple Stick was to me what any Aquafina role has been to a lot of other people out there. While I think the Aquafina hate is forced and just I don't think it's deserved at all, the Aquafina hate that people have is the same kind of like annoyance that I had with her character here. And it's not because of the voice acting or anything. I'm not like hating on Fortune Famester or Fimester or however it's pronounced. Um, my issue is the character was annoying. The character was clearly like written to be an annoying podcaster stereotype. And I could not get into it. It's like, do I acknowledge that she absolutely helped Nick and Judy? Yeah, without question. But I still find her annoying. I still think she's really fucking annoying. Um, Luckily, Gary kind of balanced that out by being the most precious little bean. Um, and other new characters, such as the various cops being just random antagonists and whatnot, and just the various other characters we got in this, we're all fun. The energy of this movie was also pretty good. It like had a good momentum to it, and I feel like it never felt like it was rushing things or even pacing it slowly. It always felt just right. Um, the animation, the art and animation was obviously like vastly improved from the first. You notice it with a lot of the characters' expressions. They've definitely like expanded the amount of expressions these characters have. Not just Nick and Judy, but all of them. Even a character like Gazelle had so much more expressiveness to her. Also, she was just a lot more relevant in this movie than the first. Um, but like you even see it with like Flash and whatnot during the scene where he's driving them. It's just one of those things where it's not like an aggressively vast improvement to the point where it's like night and day, but it's a noticeable enough improvement to where you can tell there was a lot more work put through. And just because of time, there was a lot more, technology to work with in this year than when the first was being made. So, yeah, I really appreciate the upgrades on all of that. The voice acting was all great from like all the newcomers and all of the returning cast. The music was good. I liked the new song. Um, you could definitely maybe say that it's not as good as Try Everything. And I could completely understand that, but I think it's like the movie being on the same level as the first. I think it's kind of on the same level. Like it's the same level of Shakira song, in my opinion. Um, the conflict between Nick and Judy felt very natural because it felt like it was just continuing off of their personalities and characters from the first film and made logical sense. Like even at the end when they're spilling their guts and like expressing all of their insecurities and whatnot at each other, it's like everything that they say is like, oh yeah, that's just their character. That's how their character has been. Um, Judy overachieving because of, always being told like a bunny can't be a cop and stuff like that. Nick having huge insecurities because of always being alone and, having been bullied to the point of trauma. It makes sense. It was obvious that's how these characters were. And some would say the movie spelling it out for you is a little on the nose. But honestly, I didn't mind that. I felt like, again, the way it was handled was very natural because it came across as like an actual conversation they needed to have with each other. And everything expressed, again, was already able to be seen and witnessed even before they said it. So, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was extremely well done. And I'm very excited to hopefully see more. I don't know if a Zootopia 3 is already confirmed to be happening, but honestly, at this point, like, I'm normally against Disney and other companies milking the hell out of their properties, but I could see if it's going to be on the same quality as these first two, I could see them making a third. I could see them, like, actually like making it work. And if they do make it, I hope that it's just as good, no matter what it focuses on and how where it takes it. But that's hopefully something we can discover in the future. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to Venom for donating for this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have anything that I didn't talk about that you would love to hear my thoughts on specifically, feel free to comment about that as well. For now, though, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.